by the way. I haven't stayed at a Marriott property. That's how expensive hotel rooms are right now in San Jose, like $800-$850 a night to stay in down San Jose. So I'm staying with the team under the team rate, which is still insane, by the way. But it's the cheapest of the insane rates. And just kind of being around the hotel the last day and a half and just watching again the way that seeing them all walking around this little area that we're in, or it's one of those hotels where you have to take an elevator up to the lobby and then another elevator to your rooms type thing, and just seeing kind of the players hanging out with him. I mean, he's just a loved guy. And I just think that it's a major, major risk to trade him if they're in a playoff spot.
From Adam Nelson, in what areas do you see this team improving or regressing the rest of the season? Any bold predictions? For example, if they finish first in points from D-men and number one in penalty kill percentage, do they win the Central?
I still think that Nashville's the team to beat with Winnipeg in the Central. But what can they use? A right shot forward that could score. I still think that put on the right wing. I mean, Nino is still a major concern. The way that he's playing right now, the way that he is not scoring. I was shooting the breeze with him yesterday. In fact, actually, what I was shooting the breeze with him, he saw that I'm going to Switzerland next summer, and so I think if he's still on this team, I'm going to stay an extra couple days and have him kind of show me around for a big story, around his hometown and things like that. So we were talking about that, but then we started talking about, he's like, basically, he's like, he made some self-deprecating joke. He's like, hopefully I have a goal by then. And he is really, really frustrated right now. And definitely, I got to think the pressure on him is just unbelievably immense. He just doesn't understand why he goes through these stretches every single season of 12, 13, 14 games without a goal. And it's killing him. And so, he's getting chances, man. I mean, in Edmonton, he had some unbelievable scoring chances. But he just needs to do a better job of getting to the areas of where he could be successful. And I don't think he's around the net nearly enough these days. I just, in training camp, I thought he looked good. He had, a couple of that game in Colorado, he had a ton of scoring chances. He was awesome. And he's just, and he scored a goal that night. And he just needs to, kind of find that needle writer.
From AT, what is your guess of the first Iowa D-man we will see this year, if we do see anybody?
Well, probably a right shot guy. My guess it would be somebody like Ryan Murphy. I mean, somebody that we've seen before. The guy that's been unbelievably disappointing down there right now is Carson Soucy. He's got to figure it out. He had a terrible training camp. I don't know if he thought he had made it, but he hasn't. And he's got to figure it out down there.
From Eric Vigo, have you pitched following Fenton to Russia yet?
No, I have not pitched that. I don't think that he wants to do that. He's in Finland right now for the Karjalja Cup, I think it is called, Karjala. Karjalja. There we go.
We'll go with that.
And actually, Kaprizov's going to be playing in 3 games there, at least 3 games there this week. And then next Monday he goes to Toronto for the Hall of Fame, and then the GM's meetings, and I'll be back hopefully by the second period, he said, of the November 13th home game. But no, I did not pitch going to Russia with him.
2 more Twitter questions. Thanks again to Twill in the Edina Galleria. Again, I go shopping there, spend my own money on their clothes all the time. We're going to do a new ad highlighting a lot of their fall stuff here pretty soon. Thanks to WizKids.tech, downtown Minneapolis tech company. Again, nimble, local, friendly, easy to work with. BiteSquad.com, the promo code is TalkNorth if you want your first delivery free. Our next live show at Delano's Pizza is November 16th. November 14th, I'm dyslexic. I'm numerically dyslexic. November 14th at 6 p.m. with Russo's mom, Dawn Mitchell, and all of our regulars. Thanks to FixologyRepair.com.
Can we just hold on? Can we just make it clear that Russo's mom is not Dawn Mitchell? There was a comma there.
There is a comma. Commas are very important in writing and in speaking. I apologize if I did not imply the comma strongly enough. Thank you for breaking in to my very important message. Fixologyrepair.com, downtown and in the Mall of America, third floor by Nordstrom's. Tony Hoagland, your State Farm agent champion, HOAGLUND. And Michael, what's your athletic promo code?
Athletic.com/I know Russo for $2.99 a month. And awesome stories this week. I'm writing this really fun Ryan Carter piece on the next day. And as I mentioned, I got so much stuff in the works, but this Matt Hendricks story on Veterans Day, if I write it right, will be really cool.
From Nick Bennett, what is your favorite breakfast food?
Probably an omelet.
Okay, that was a great question. From Irrelevant, does Fenton decide, if Fenton decides against keeping Boudreaux, would Quenneville be a good fit, assuming he's not hired by somebody else?
Yeah. I don't think that they're going to pay Boudreaux his $3 million the rest of this year, $3 million next year, his consulting money, and pay Joel Quenneville $6 to $8 million a year. Craig Leopold, I can promise you, is not going to do that.
Let's wrap this up with the famous and never disappointing Russo's final thought or final not thought. Yeah, stellar as always.
Actually, I got a final thought. So I'm connecting in Salt Lake City out to San Francisco the other day.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened, but I'm sitting there. We haven't taken off yet, and there's a guy to the left of me, and I pick up this. I asked the flight attendant for, you know how they give you the bottles of water? I don't know why, but I was super hot on the plane, so I asked for ice. And so she brings me a cup with ice, and I pour the water in, and then I forget it's there, and then boom, knock the entire ice water on the guy to the left of me. It was a mortifying thing to do. And he was really cool about it, but then he made some comment that kind of freaked me out. He goes, "It's too bad it wasn't hot coffee, because then I could just sue you and the airline." And I'm like, okay.
No more coffee for Russo in first class. See, this is the thing, is that you always act like flying in first class is such a great thing, but it's not such a great thing for everybody else, because then they have to fly with you, and you're a klutz. I mean, I've actually turned down upgrades so I wouldn't have to fly in the same first class cabin as you.
That is true. There was nothing more like that I was more proud of when I worked at the Star Tribune than those times when we were like covering the Wild in the playoffs together, and then I sat down in first class and you walked right by me to coach.
Yeah, that was awesome. And it really speaks to your high character. That's what makes you happy. Yeah. No. Look, I've put in my dues. I deserve to be up there. He deserves to be in first class, Brandon. He deserves.
The other thing is, I was on this bothers me because normally, like, I'm a really good reporter, can figure stuff out. I was flying from St. Louis to Salt Lake City the other day, and there was like a famous band. I know they were famous, like a band up in first class with me. And I could not figure out who they were. It was like one of those things. I started, Googling what bands were in St. Louis the night before. Then I started, it's Salt Lake City is a hub, so I couldn't figure out like where they were going. I couldn't, I Googled like St. Louis based bands. I just could not figure out who they were. None of them had like a name tag on any of their stuff that they had, so I couldn't just figure it out. But I knew I recognized them. It still is bothering me that I don't know who the heck they were.
That's a pretty good story.
That's my final thought. Yeah, awesome. That's my final thought.
Good work.
Pretty little city built on a hillside. Music in the bars and fire in the sky. We went to the beach and it was covered in ice, and I used to call it home. So much coming out, there's nothing going in. I know that you feel like you're never gonna win. Oh, but the world won't forgive a winner.
Look, I've put in my dues. I deserve to be up there.
He deserves to be in first class, Brandon.